Well, the top shot streets are a dangerous place, so you better tune in to a credible face like this one. Yeah, this one. You know he's not alone when they're coming in hot. We got a Lake Show stand and a guy who really likes baseball. I don't know why he likes baseball.
We can't go down this road. We can't talk about like how you need to have had sex in order to have responsibility. I just think it changes you, I think it changes you. Welcome back. Double dip. We have we got a little Top Shot score. I believe the Spaces is still going on, but we get to the Q&A part of it. We get to the Q&A time. I think we're going to have a few guests come on. We might see some Shot Tank members. I think Mr. Dustin himself might pop on. Full disclosure, right? So I know I have all the same information that you guys have. So I've looked at the blog a couple of times. I also listened. We're going to be doing a deeper dive tomorrow during the morning marketplace, and then again tomorrow night during Shot Tank. But I figured it was important to just, show face, see how we're doing. Let's see the chat real quick. Burns down, fire. Talk to me, Tony. Help me understand. Not thrilled about how. Okay, so I think the overall sentiment is, gosh darn it. A Deep Threat says tired of getting boned. Luis is here, just saying hi. Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. So my initial read on it was, oh, this makes sense. Why did it take so long? Basically, you're just for marketplace spend, right? That's essentially how we're accumulating points. And if you own a moment and the spend gets higher and it's not locked up, like if a moment moons, you get some extra or an extra bonus. If it's locked up, you don't necessarily get that bonus. So here's what I will say. I think this is pretty easy to understand for new people coming in. Let's get this out of the way. I want to talk about the positives right away. I think this is easy for new people to understand. There's not really too many equations outside of understanding what locking and unlocking means. For the most part, you get it. You're like, okay, if you bought things, that's what it's that you get those points. If those things are worth more, you get more points. I get that. I get most of that. Let's see though. We've got snapback. Is this snapback season for Mr. Dustin? Dustin, what's up, dude?
Hey, how we doing?
Look at the background. Look at that little TSS. I think we might have
that background's amazing.
Dustin, what were initial takes? How are we feeling?
Confused, I guess. Excited a little bit. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me how we should be feeling, Mikey Zacks.
So I was just getting into it. I think it makes sense for the future, as they say.
Okay.
As the future, It makes sense. Speaking of the future, look at the gangs all. It's filling up in here. Oh, I don't care. TSP, you're on, dude.
Shot Tank starting early. Can I be like the special guest, one of the extra eccentric billionaires that joins randomly?
That's
well,
right.
If you have a pitch,
Let me tell you, we sell highlights of sports. Yeah, that's full screen. I like that.
Behind the scenes look.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm putting this out there right now because we got a lot of talkers in here, myself included. I'm at 8:45 Eastern time. Max, we're done. Okay, getting that out there.
Yeah.
Let's just do this right now. Let's do this. I want it I've already said Okay, hold on. John says I think it's actually a pretty smart system. It does fuck gifting. All right, this is what I wanted to get.
I had a question on gifting too. Yeah, I had a question on that. Yeah.
The things that I wanted to get out of the way, I think this is a simple thing for new people who, assuming we get new users when they come on, I think it's like a positive overall thing.
Okay.
I do my one thing, and then I'll pass it off. I want to hear everyone else's take. We'll do a little around the horn. The one thing I was surprised by, I thought it was going to be, as TST described, a slow motion rug pull. And instead they were like, it's cooler if we just, and then all the furniture still stays there, right? It's like a magic trick you see at a dinner table. And I think that's what we ended up getting. Let's go. Wait, Dustin, do you want to pop off first? We can go in order in which they arrived.
Oh, about everything? No, I kind of want to be a part of the conversation. We can get into it. I thought there was something that was going to be included that I don't think was. We can get to it. We can get to it.
Okay. All right. Who's next? Jeb, what initial take?
I mean, I think the initial take is, took a long time for them to figure out they should multiply a number by 10. I learned that pretty early in school with a calculator. So I will say that, but I think it's really good that it's simple. On the Moment's tweet about it almost like seemed like a parody tweet. Like it was so they're just like, yeah, so it's this. And I feel bad for them because they've built stuff around like having a calculator and stuff. But like you said, it's really, really good for new users because who wants to come in and learn all these rules, blah, blah, blah. I do kind of feel like someone like me, someone like me in a Deep Threat who played the game, took like all their rules, looked at things, and were like, oh, this is where like you can make money because there's an inefficiency. They didn't really, like you said, slowly kind of ease us out of it. They're like, sorry for playing. Sorry you listened to the rules. Like you should know better. In a weird way, I'm not that disappointed though. Mostly, I guess, because I've just been like abused by Top Shot for so long now. It's almost like I'm just used to it now. You're muted, Mike.
I wonder how that happened. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, weird. TST, what was your initial take?
There's a lot of things. I'll start with I guess what I view as one of the most.
What's up, everybody? We are live from the red carpet of Chippendale. Wait, was this? I thought you saved this time for me. Y'all are live out there.
Go ahead, Greg. What are we doing?
Take us
Greg
away.
Hollywood?
I just wanted to tell everyone that my Top Shot score is like 1.2 million. I've been planning this for weeks. Followed all the clues. We're in business, baby.
Wait, all right, Greg. Hold on. No, you don't get to just come.
Take us down the carpet.
What premiere?
I feel like it's not ready for prime time yet.
What are you wearing?
Greg, you're wearing way too many clothes.
Who are you wearing?
It's Rescue Rangers, so I have the shirt, the tie, but no pants. Because Chippendale, they don't wear pants. That's the rule. So
who's one of the stars in Chippendales?
There's Chip.
We got
and then
Chip.
there's Dale.
We got,
Give me an actor.
We got Monty. We got Andy Samberg, John Mulaney.
Ooh,
all right,
I like Andy Samberg.
Talk to Sandberg about his TSS. What's the score at right now?
Number one question on the carpet. All right.
Greg, take us into the LCAP. Why don't you walk us into the LCAP? Right
that'll go over well. All right. Goodbye.
All right, bye, Greg. All right, sorry, TST. You were rudely interrupted.
You just got rugged again, TST.
No, but what I was saying is there's a lot of things. I'll say that one positive thing, and it was kind of in my back pocket to probably what I was going to critique at the start, was that they did fix that pulling a moment gives you something equivalent to what it would be buying in the marketplace. So I think that is a positive because it's not incentivizing you to just dump the pack and then go spend that money. And then we're all as a community losing 5% every time. So I'll say that is one of the positives. My biggest thing is that there is no way that they eventually ended up with 10 times the money. because there's no way that all this time it took them that long to come up with that. So that means there's been like iterations of this and they've just been cutting it down and cutting it down and cutting it
Really?
down.
3 times, 5 times, maybe would have been
Yeah.
7 times. No, 10,
Yeah, no.
baby, 10.
Let's make it simple. Let's just add those zeros.
I will say, yeah, it does seem like Top Shot Tony is the one who created TSS.
John, what about you, man?
Yeah.
I mean, so okay, long term, it's good, I think,
Mhm.
and it's good
Yeah.
for people who've collected what they loved over the last fucking 2 years or whatever. But you know, and moving forward, it's gonna be a positive, I guess, if that's like how you kind of like want to view your experience on Top Shot, right? If you're if you're a Kings fan and you just fucking love Kings moments and you buy all the De'Aaron Foxes like I do, then you're just gonna probably get all the De'Aaron Fox airdrops and Kings airdrops, and you just keep getting that, and it's like, cool, right? But I think the two things that I'm interested in is, like how can they like I don't know, it just seems like they're gonna need to do so many more like of these airdrop kind of things in order for TSS to like mean anything, right? Because like, okay, so like right now, maybe somebody's gonna go on a streak of buying like a bunch of the rookie moments from this year, right? They're gonna buy, a bunch of the 5 rookies, or say, hey, I'll get some of these guys moments next year, right? But if they only do like, I don't know, 2 of those rookie airdrops or whatever these are, I mean, we saw like the screenshot on the blog. We saw the screenshot of the blog about like a Steph Curry airdrop or a, whatever they were, a Knicks airdrop challenge thing. But like, if the pace of these things like isn't going to probably be fast enough to be able to like make players valuable, right? So then it's just going to go down. I mean, which is good. Again, it's good. It's not the gamification thing, right? But then, essentially what I think is going to happen, like we're going to go to an MGLE drop next year, and 90 MGLE moments are going to come out, and there's going to be 12 moments that are worth whatever they're worth, and then there's going to be 78 moments that are worth $40, right? Because like none of these other guys like really matter that much, and that's, I think, a kind of a, I think, challenge that they're going to have trying to figure that out, because right now they've said, hey, TSS, I guess, fucking get you into packs. I don't know. They didn't really talk too much about like what else TSS does, but
Right.
these packs are like going to kind of take a beating, I think, in the short term. And it's like really going to ramp up the kind of lotto aspect to it of like, maybe the, like from the playoff pack, right? Maybe the Jokic moment is going to be better than all the other ones, and they won't all just be worth $10, but like there's going to be like no real utility out of the other ones, right? Like the Jose Alvarado and like that.
Right.
Those are all just going to be worth 4.
Well,
or
and
3 or whatever.
David asked this too. Like, is it ever worth buying a common pack again?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just going to depend on
it
like
is.
where these guys trend. Like, I mean, how many players do you think are going to carry a premium on Top Shot now? I guess that's a question.
Yeah.
I do think it makes it a little more like true to like it being a collectible. Like it is rough in some ways, but I mean, I guess like people aren't having to pay $150 for a stupid Jordan Nwora now.
Thank
Like,
God.
yeah, so that moment, which shouldn't hold value, now doesn't get artificially inflated. So I do think
Right.
that's, once again, this is like John said, I think this is good long term for a lot of reasons, but short term, I think a lot of people are just like, ooh, number go up. This is great. But it's not.
Dustin, I would say like for you, the way that you've
Yep.
collected over the last like year plus or
Decade.
so.
Yeah.
You're super early. Dust Alexo. This has to feel like it aligns pretty well with how you've collected though, right?
If I'm understanding it, then yes. I mean, I don't know. I've always tried to collect. I aim for Series 1, which I think you did too. I collected moments that I thought were important, and I tried to get TSDs and badges and that sort of stuff. But I've completed team sets, that kind of stuff. I completed not as crazy as stuff as you have too, Mike. Like, I don't know. I guess I have a question. So maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. And hopefully you guys can answer this. What is like the rewarding fandom happening here? Is it that you'll get opportunities to get a better advantage for pack drops because of your fandom, because of what you've collected? Is that like the true takeaway here?
For the TSS, it feels like, yes, it's going to lean, skew more towards packs. However, the team leaderboard thing, which they introduced, sounds like that is going to be more aligned with potential fandom related things.
Okay.
They didn't really say. Jacob mentioned that when they talk to NBA players, the NBA players are very interested in knowing who their biggest fans are, which I believe happened, but I also don't know what else they would say. Like,
right.
Like,
but like, is
KD,
that the same thing as
like,
Ben McLemore saying like, "Hey, I can't wait to like get into this Top Shot stuff," and like,
and that's to that point. To that point, John, like if you have the opportunity to be on a Zoom with THT, I don't know. Do you care? Like
Dustin does.
THT. That's my man. I don't think I want to hop on a Zoom and be like, "Yo, THT, what's going on? Like, can I see how long your wingspan is?" Like, I just think it's awkward.
I would do that. That sounds.
It's like, you know, it's like awkward and weird. I think I wanted, and that might be what the leaderboard is, but I don't want to spend my money on all of this stuff to just get experiences like that or chat with them in the Discord or AMAs. Like, if because I've talked to you about this a lot, Mike, and John too, right? Like, if I'm collecting these team sets and paying a premium to then have a chance to maybe attend a game, why wouldn't I just spend that $100 to buy tickets to the actual game? It's like, if that's the reward, like,
it's a little too much logic here for
but you get what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, I get to have the moment that I like, and maybe I get a shot to attend a game. Just buy the fucking tickets to the game at that point. I see the incentive for the other part. Go ahead, Greg. Greg, sorry, Mike. I see the part of like maybe like it improving the value of your moments, which I think is definitely one part that we want. But the second part was the fandom that I'm like, I don't want to just climb leaderboards at a shot at maybe and spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars to maybe get some potential question mark incentives.
I do think it's going to be like an array of things, though. I don't want to like pigeon them into just like a Zoom call or like the Nate Robinson thing that happened today. Like, it did sound like there's going to be some NFT stuff, like John, you were mentioning, maybe get a De'Aaron Fox thing, or maybe like the team sets, which are the team moments, which we've talked about before, like those getting airdropped.
The De'Aaron Fox NFT that was a rug pull.
That's right. Is that what we're talking about? God, I forgot about that.
Well, I think it's going to be both. I don't think it's going to be, and like Dustin, we've talked about this so many times, where I don't think it's going to be like, tickets to a Denver Nuggets game. You're like, yeah, I'm not flying to Denver, and they're like, okay, well, here's that amount of money in Dapper, or use it at the Dapper store, whatever. I think it will be a combination of both. I will say I'm kind of intrigued by the team leaderboards. I'm not going to actively go out there and be like, oh, I need to be number one or something. Like, I don't care about that, but I'm like intrigued by it. I think I'll pay attention.
Can I ask a question for the team here? Who has team sets completed across the board? Does anyone?
Raising hands.
What do you mean across the board?
Like, well, not just like maybe like series 1, series 2, series 3.
Oh, so like full team sets.
Yeah.
I have full team, no historic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the full team Nuggets, and then full team
contemporary. You have the contemporary team.
I'm contemporary. Yes. I'm a very contemporary man.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I think I'm close to having the Bucks, but yeah, nothing too special. There's a lot I could finish. I have some bottlenecks. Like, I have a Brantley that I pulled in my S1 pack, stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Beamer too said, actually, before I share this, I do want to say this morning you looked into the camera and said I was confident in a lot of things.
Yeah. Should we revisit that list?
Yeah. You want? Do I still have that up? All right. So
the list.
Yeah, the first one. No, I was immediately wrong, because I said I'm confident it won't be a full rug on your team collector stacks. I thought it was going to be a slow rug.
No, Mike. It's not a complete. They give you 10,000 points for having.
That's true.
Which you'll be able to get in Series 4 for like $20.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's worth revisiting TFT's point, like TS, like I don't know if we should touch on that. Like TST brought that up a few weeks ago, I think on Shot Tank or something, and basically said, you know, it's not the potential here is that it's not going to be a rug on your score, but just the underlying value of the moments that helped you get to that score are now going to kind of go to shit, and that's pretty much what's going to happen for everything that wasn't a $3 floor for $3 floor moment, and then on top of that, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't very, overwhelmed by what they said TSS would do. And like, I mean, on my scores, like, I don't know, I don't even remember what it was, 500,000 or something. And it's like, what does that even do for me? Like I don't know. Like, is that crazy? And like, is it going to give me access to these packs that are now going to be
airdrop Aces?
Or like, like what is it? And so
in reality, it should be getting you access to those packs that can potentially give you a better return on your investment, right? By having that, I would think.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Also,
it just seems like they're saying, yeah, we didn't rug you, and that's not our style to rug you, and like that was what Janie tweeted, but then they like pretty much just rugged everybody.
Well, I think we thought it was going to be like, I think you used this phrase, John, today, but like you'd have some off ramps here. And I guess maybe the justification for this is if we learn that by because maybe did we get this? If you trade in a trade ticket, do you lose that score?
You would. So I think the off ramp that they think they provided, which I kind of don't exactly like. I agree that they didn't really provide any. Was they're like, oh, we gave you this early adopter bonus, and technically, if you sold your whole account, you would have that still. Like it doesn't get affected.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so it doesn't get affected until you lose it at the end of Series 4. But until then, so it allows you to like maybe sell off some moments that pump in a challenge or something without affecting your Top Shot score.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, if that didn't happen, and then we get some more understanding of what trade tickets were going to look like, then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to take my 700 Charlotte Hornets moments, I'm going to turn those into trade tickets, which will be currency basically, while also not completely boning my score. Like I thought we would see something like that made it a little bit easier to be like, okay, this isn't going to hurt. Like in the future, no one else is going to be stacking Hornets moments, but at least I'm not taking it to Tookus because I did stack Hornets moments.
To be fair, I think if they provide some pretty cool stuff for trade tickets, then it's not as much of a rug. Because then you can be like, oh, like, you know what? Like I can turn, I mean, it still would suck in some ways, but like, oh, I can turn these into trade tickets and actually turn it into utility. So I'm not ready to like go full like Karen on this, but
that's also assuming that you have the funds to make up for what you overpaid and buying another moment, right? Like if you bought a bottleneck of a team set that was like $75, you're getting 750 score for that. If that moment goes down to $2 and you use it as a trade ticket, you're not just trading that in for a trade ticket, you're also giving up that score. So as long as you have the funds to replenish that, or we get to a point where pretty much everyone just has a high enough Top Shot score because they don't keep moving the goalpost higher and higher, which then again just leaves us to the point where like none of it really matters because everyone has it. So you're not really gaining an advantage except for the like brand new user. Right. But I think like the biggest point here is that like we've just turned this into 100% pay to play. Like it's just like if you have the money, you're in. Like just give us the money and you're in. That's
just
it.
Go by the way.
That's the way it was before to a certain degree too.
Yes,
right?
To an extent, and like you could do different things, but like now it's like we're not even like trying to disguise it. It's just like boom.
Yeah, I want to say. Oh, go ahead, TST.
And well, and part of that is that they have said that like by like locking things, you're not at an advantage for locking it for a longer number of time, right? They said if you lock it, it's locked, but also like I can unlock that thing. So then like I could unlock it, use it in a challenge. Then that leaderboard thing doesn't happen during the challenge, buy it back for cheaper, lock it again. And I'm at like the same place I was before. I didn't gain anything. I didn't really lock it. I don't know.
I mean,
at surface value. Oh, go ahead. No,
John.
You've been wanting to bump in.
No, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to pivot to something else and then also make a joke. So
I was just gonna say at surface value, it does seem like there's the math doesn't fully work out on the challenges if there's timers, right? Is
Mhm.
because if you and we were talking offline, but if you buy, so if they announce a Steph Curry challenge, right, and it's the top 200 people on the Steph Curry leaderboard get a Steph Curry whatever, and at the time of the announcement, the threshold's 20,000 CS or TSS, and so that's the top 200, and you like, so now people start rushing to buy Steph Curry moments, and they're going to be buying them at a premium, so their TSS is going to be increasing at a premium, relative to you who maybe have held a lot of Steph Curry moments and aren't going to be buying during the challenge. So theoretically, your TSS is going to go up because the average price is going to go up, but that's always going to trail the actual lowest ask of those, whatever the efficient Steph Curry moment is for that challenge.
Mhm.
And so, then you're going to basically, like, maybe you still finish in the top 200, but you got lapped, now the floor, TSS cutoff got jumped up to like 40,000. You still made the cut, but like 100 people jumped you in the meantime because they kind of built their quick Steph Curry TSS, more
Right.
efficiently than you did just by holding. And I think that's where it seems a little interesting. And that's where I was thrown off when Alan said you wouldn't get a bonus for locking over time, because then the stuff you hold that should be a passive reward, you're going to then have to actively buy during in order to kind of remain eligible, it seems like.
Yeah, the gifting thing was interesting, and I wonder if that was a direct response to Mets. And is it because all of the like completed challenges for like 72 people were doing it? They're like, we gotta fucking put an end to this.
We gotta
baby."
stop.
But now I do wonder, like, maybe they're like, hey, that's some money. That's some money that is sitting on the table for us, and we need to limit that. I wanted to bring up a Deep Threats comment from earlier too. He says there's a solution to our complaints, the crafting feature, which I do think I like. I was happy to hear that's supposedly coming within the month, so that's soon.
Huge.
Hopefully before Summer League, which wasn't mentioned. But
Those
if that is,
timelines are always on the point.
Before the
Right.
Ides of June.
oh my god. My God. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're to me like the crafting and the locking of moments are like two features that the future is bright. Like I'm excited about both of those things. So I don't know. I know, John, you've been seeing a doctor because of how hard you've been about the crafting stuff, right? Like
Yeah. It's definitely been over 4 hours on crafting. So I mean but the thing that I am interested in with the locking, right, is what benefit. Okay, so I'm saying this kind of based off solely these little screenshots that they threw together at the end of one of the blogs, but it basically showed like, I think it was like a Knicks challenge and a LeBron challenge and whatever. There was like a couple like challenges, and that's kind of what they alluded to. You'd be able to lock and be eligible for. And so, is there any incentive to lock anything while there's not an active challenge, right? Because if the answer is no, then it's like,
I mean, you'd hope there'd be snapshots like they
Right.
do now,
Yeah.
right?
right?
Why is there a
guess.
timer then on their things?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they give a bonus. Maybe there does need to be something involving time. I 100% agree with that. I think that's just a huge oversight, and I just go back to the time I asked Roham about staking and time, and he was just had no. It was like I had spoken a different language. Like he was like, "What is like what time?" So I will say that does still worry me. Maybe they give some sort of bonuses, like if you already had them locked in before they announced the challenge or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot they can do with it, so I'm not willing to like totally throw the baby out with the bathwater though, but
No, hold
Yeah.
the
I'm
baby.
getting close. you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I was just surprised. I thought, again, back to TST's initial point, I thought there was going to be a soft landing for a lot of people, and the way, honestly, like if you looked at the blog quickly, you probably were like, oh, not so bad. And then like as the information starts to marinate a little bit, you're like, oh no, that is. And again, I don't want to say it's bad, because I think this makes a ton of sense in the future. I just think the initial ride is going to be pretty bumpy. I will say, like, I didn't have any good like victory lap takes from today, except for I was very confident that after it was announced, the announcement would also include further announcements, like that this wasn't going to be the last one. And that, I mean, that
Yeah.
only took like 8 minutes to be like, yeah, no, we're still figuring out how that's going to look. And in the next coming weeks, we'll have a better feel. And I'm like, okay, we don't know yet. And I can't stress enough, like, I don't have the right answers to a lot of this. I think this was like a pretty tricky thing, a tough needle to thread. And like, shout out to Alan for working through it. And then also not only working through it, because I'm sure it wasn't just Alan, but like getting on the spaces while I think the first couple questions were like, dude, thank you so much for all the hard work you did. And then like by the fourth question, they were like, hey man, the fuck. Like, I feel the energy change. So shout out to Alan for managing all that, because
Hey,
there's no way
we're gonna have a lot more. We're gonna have a lot more trade tickets now. Right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Trade tickets.
I have a lot of trade tickets all of a sudden.
I am curious too, like with the crafting, I was thinking about that because I have and then there were 4 set, and I'm excited to get, and then there were 4 moments. But part of me is like, man, if there's not like a ton of reason to hold sets, do I just craft the shit out of these rare moments? And like,
Well,
if I burn
maybe.
25 rare moments, do I get a legendary and a beach?
I mean, I think I'm assuming they're going to. I'm assuming they're going to give specific moments you can burn.
Yeah,
Right.
Can-
Yeah.
Mike, can I ask you a question though?
sure, man.
Why would you want one legendary over 25 rares?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, it depends. Does maybe my name's on the legendary? I don't know. Does it come? Like, yeah, right. Who knows? There's no. It doesn't seem to be.
There is nothing distinguishing tiers of moments right now besides mid count, which already overlap.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
There's
guess that.
nothing on the site
That's
except
true.
for shiny
That
borders.
is true.
I
That
was
is
Except
true.
for shiny borders, I'll give them that.
Yeah,
the
but I guess
price is the only thing.
The price
doesn't
still
that
is-
like kind of like playing devil's advocate? Doesn't that kind of like lean it more towards being like a collectible as opposed to?
No,
yeah,
like,
but why? Yeah, but why would you want to own a Luca legendary if you could own a 5 Luca rares?
Because it's like it's more.
Scarcity, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say, why would you want to own like?
Well, that goes back to I was gonna phrase it maybe a different way than what TSC said, but like, what are people gonna be? What are people gonna drive value towards now? Right?
I think it's gonna be 5 players. Right, like
It's-
that's what it is.
yeah.
It's gonna be,
Or like, if there's a Miles Bridges crazy dunk one night, like, are a bunch of people gonna buy Miles Bridges because they'll get an airdrop from him in a week? Like, is that kind of what it's gonna be, or?
maybe.
I mean, there's still gonna be flash challenges, so
Yeah.
there will be like
Oh, yeah.
temporary
Which
value.
again, you probably want to own rares instead of legendaries.
Yeah, yeah,
You want to
that's
own more
true.
rares than legendaries if it's how the flash challenges have been going.
That's true.
Man, not to do this again, but this is, I think the lack of like the overall leadership is still going to be the thing that matters the most here. And I think if we had a strong grasp of this, I don't know, maybe the way this was rolled out, I don't know. I'm gonna keep.
I
going
can't
back.
wait till we have Summer League or they have the convention or something, and Mike just stands up on a table and like tinks his glass, and he's like, "So I'd like to give this toast, but before I do, you know, I think this would be going better if we just had a little more leadership."
Yeah, would just love to know. Would love to know.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I agree. It's kind of getting ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, Travis.
I mean, the one thing it will. I mean, I guess so every moment is the same efficiency, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like,
sorry, it's a great comment by Tom. Tom says leadership. Who be driving that boat on the freeway, Mike? That was great. I thought that was
Yeah,
well done.
I think Ghost of
but
Greg
then it
Oden-
also. I'm just trying to figure out like. So there's not really going to be okay. So like right now with the way Top Shot I already forget collector score was, there was like a threshold for like, here's what common should be, here's what rare should be, here's what legendary should be based on their like, base CS. But now it's all just going to be based on how efficiently you want to build your collector score for that certain thing, right? So like
Yeah.
if a Luka moment's coming out, like I have $500 to fire, I'd rather buy, you know, $500 worth of rares instead of 500 floor Luka moments, right? But then, you know, then there's gonna but so everything is just efficient, you know, all the time, right? So
Wait,
even if
John, so
you're-
you're saying I can only make good trading decisions moving forward, right?
well, you know, if
From a
you're trying to
TSS
accumulate, like it almost, the more that I'm like talking out loud on this, it almost seems like it makes more sense to like consolidate, right? And like I don't know, because it's there's never going to be an inefficiency like break, right? There's never going to be like, oh shit, all of a sudden the Luka rares are super undervalued relative to whatever. The Luka rares are just going to be whatever they are, when whatever people want to buy for them, right? And so it's going to be based on like it's going to come down to like the run-ups for that stuff is just going to be come down to like whatever the threshold is that people are shooting for, right? And like to get into the top whatever for whatever.
Yeah.
That's about how we left with. You got to get into the top whatever, you're going to be able to get whatever from somebody. That's why you should like TSS.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I think there's part of me that like is like, I feel like this is kind of good because it's just like it's good that like they're like, you know how we have certain moments that just have all this upward pressure because they're a bottleneck for a potential flash challenge or something like that, and then that thing gets alleviated and just like dumps. I think it's good that won't happen as much. Like
I agree.
But that being said, it's like, I don't know, maybe I have to wrap my head around it more, but it is kind of like, well, why collect anything?
Right?
Yeah.
What are we talking about tomorrow? What we're not talking about Top Shot. What are we talking about? I think what I like the most about this is people aren't going to come onto the platform and they're like, all right, what do I have to buy? And you're like,
yes,
before you get anything, you have to buy 6,000 Terrence Rosses. Like that's, you know, and I think eliminating that, I mean, honestly, I know I have since killed this debate, but when I used to scream about why Amadou Diallo was going for $3,000, and I was like, this site's broken. The site's broken for new people when they come on and they're like, wait, Amadou Diallo, the seventh man on the worst team in the league, is going for $3,000. And I think that kind of like, we want to be buying good players. I think that is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think as new people, if anyone else ever signs up for this, and based on the study that I've done, that should happen around August. And if that does happen, then like, hey, it's an easier onboarding process, which I do think
much easier, much easier.
And that's
it encourages collect what you like. Like you don't have to find out you
Not
made a
what you
mistake
love,
later
only
on.
what you like.
Oh, sorry, collect what you love. My
Strong.
bad.
Love's a strong term.
Yeah, dude.
Jeb doesn't throw that around lightly, folks.
It's true.
I do think there's a small bit of actionable advice based on what we just talked about. Like,
Oh, here we
it
go.
almost makes like, all right, you guys ready? Lock it in here. All right. It
Big
almost
Bad Alpha.
doesn't make a lot of sense to have stacks anymore unless you're
Unless you overpaid for them.
purely like the only but not really, because you could sell it and buy a whatever of that player or a
And
rare
have
of that
less
player.
TSS at the end.
You
If
know,
I
could
bought
you
it for
hold your
$10, I sell
freaking-
it for $2, and I buy something for $2, I only have 20 TSS.
Yeah,
As long
but
Look
as
at
you
that
have-
math.
if-
Look at that
I
math, TSC.
I completely agree with you if you have extra TSS, which no one knows, because they could be like, hey, pack drops are 1 million, screw you all. Or they could say pack drops are 10,000, you all qualify, so who cares about this system? Add zeros to your numbers, times 10, wrap it up, let's go. Everyone's
Yeah.
score went up.
Yeah. In the only small non-rug pull is that like early adopter static thing, which I understand to be static, right? So
Yes.
if I
completely
have
static.
like, okay, so let's say, which I do, I have 100 Harrison Barnes in my account. They're like, it behooves me to sell the Harrison Barnes for $2 or $3 or whatever, and get 200 worth of Dapper, and instead buy a Harrison Barnes rare or something, right? And just have the Harrison Barnes rare. right? Because if whenever there's going to be an announcement and there's going to be a run up that's based on TSS and of a player or of a team or whatever, people are then inherently going to just click the moment that's most tied to how much they want to spend on it rather than trying to buy the cheapest moment, right? So like if a moment comes out about Harrison Barnes and you get an airdrop and you're like, oh, okay, I'll fire $100 on this. You're not going to go buy 54 moments. You're just going to go buy whatever the closest Harrison Barnes moment is to $100, right? So if you do that conversion kind of now, right? If you try to like just freaking bite the bullet and either, sell the floor moments now or maybe just eat it up and say, hey, it's going to be trade tickets, and you just start thinking about that, then there's potential for you to get some outsized rewards in the future if majority of people are going to buy $40 moments instead of $2 moments. So now your $40 moment you're buying now, eventually comes up to $60 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's truer too if you collected teams purely for a collector score and you didn't like those teams. Like if you just like collected Charlotte because it's the most efficient way and you have no interest in a Charlotte player or team, then that definitely is. But if you collected the team you actually like, then you might want to hold on to those, because when it comes around to you actually benefiting, you'll have spent that extra money, so your TSS is higher for those ones. But I will say there is one potential spot that could have some efficiencies.
Full screen.
And that is those team bonuses for 10,000 per series, because, we're going to get to a point where like a team has like no rookies or shitty rookies and it costs you like $20 to finish at one, and that gives you 10,000 TSS. Now, will there ever be a point where you're like struggling for like 10,000 TSS? Maybe not. Maybe everyone has a bunch that's on it right now. That is yet to be known. But there may be some ways to efficiently build with those teams still. I don't think it'll be a point where we see bottlenecks run up to where they did, but that is like the one place you can go looking for TSS in maybe a more efficient way than dollars spent.
Well, one of the things I'm hoping for, we're going to wrap up here soon, but one of the things I am hoping for, I know they mentioned like a ton of airdrops, and I'm hoping with the like expansion of how the airdrops are going to work and what exactly is going to get airdropped, that we might have a shot at something like... I'm sorry this didn't come with a hand job. I just don't think it's included in the airdrops. That's stylistically, that's tough to include that in an airdrop. Fingers crossed, baby. Fingers crossed. Yeah, listen, I think like a lot of people have questions like deep threats, like, so do I sell my 25 team sets and consolidate into one player a team? And it's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think we all have to do some digging. I'd also say, like, normally you're trying to get out in front of the news. They clearly said more information is coming out. So like, I wouldn't even while out too much just yet, because like we might learn, I don't know, maybe they adjust the whole locking thing, the gifting thing. Like I feel like more information still to come. So I don't know.
And what acronym will they go with for that one?
Yeah. More PFPs.
Hey, so the all rookie team just got announced.
Oh yeah.
Any guesses for the? So there's 3 unanimous.
All right, unanimous. Avi, Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham.
Yep.
Right.
And then who else? Who else filled out the? Who else filled out the first team?
Herbie.
2 more.
Herbie didn't make first team.
Jalen Green.
Jalen.
Franz.
And Franz. That's first team. And then second team, Herbert, Jones, Josh Giddey, Bones, Ayo, and Duarte.
That makes sense. Nobody got left out.
Not really a lot of height in the second team there, but yeah.
Oh yeah, first team would dominate them.
I guess we don't really. It's not like all NBA where you go position by position. Whoa, we're in the freaking library with Jeb.
Yeah, Jeb. We get on Jeb before we get out of here too. Jeb, anything new? Anything? Did your TSS update by switching rooms?
Yeah. So I was getting a bad TSS signal, so I had to switch, and it's gone up.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, I had to dip out. I've returned, obviously, but I don't know if this was covered. Did we talk about like what are we buying now? Are we buying anything? Like
Did-
because that's I think the thing, right? Like we want a marketplace. Oh, maybe there's gonna be movement. Should we look at stuff? Are any of us on here now saying I am buying stuff?
Well,
And what is it?
I fired off quite a few speculative buys before the announcement.
Arrest
no,
them!
Yeah.
Arrest them!
Right.
No one's
no,
one's
which is
made a
fine.
no one's made a thread about it yet. Probably
Which is
'cause they
fine.
didn't
I did the
hit.
same thing too. I completed my Lakers team set for S1 minus historicals when they're removed. But that was kind of it. But now that we know the information, my question is, what are we doing now? And it's okay to not have the answer. I'm just curious if any of you guys have thought about what should we be buying anything now? Not financial advice, but are you guys looking at anything now differently and saying, oh, you know what, I'm gonna scoop this up now?
Yeah.
I would say there's a lot of things that are going to become a trade ticket that aren't yet a trade ticket. So if you can squeeze a couple extra bucks out of those, I would try to do that now. And then
Dustin
I would
asks, "What are
also-
you buying?" John goes, "Sell it."
No, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Because in order to buy, you have to have a little balance, right? So assuming that you're zeroed out. So I would focus on selling that, and then I would also focus on, like, okay, let's say you own 10 Scotty Barnes Rising Stars, right, for $17. There's really not a whole lot of reason to own those if you can buy a Scotty Barnes TSD for $170, right? So then I would
cutting my
just
bag.
consolidate that. Well, I know I bought 1 million of them this morning, but I would consolidate those kind of like mid-level moments and see how you can access like a higher tier of that same player if it's someone that you like or want to or love even, you know. And I think that's the short-term play is to figure out how to consolidate into the shit that you like, because over time, and you missed this, Dustin, but we brought up this point, like, okay, let's say they come out with a Steph Curry challenge. And if you are you're willing to put in, $200 to a Steph Curry challenge, every moment is efficient now for the same score. So it doesn't behoove you to buy, 24 moments. You can just take that $200 and go buy whatever rare is at that $200 level, right? And so I think over time, as there's pumps and stuff like that, I believe that people will start to go towards the one-off, like buy one moment to equal whatever. And so that's where maybe there's some opportunity now to get in when some of those are a little bit lower, and those may have a steadier decline over time, or steadier incline over time.
But so it's get rid of sort of the dumpy moments and get the more important moments, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. I wonder, because John, he said this a couple of times, the debuts basically only matter for challenges or moment rank. I don't even know how it would matter for moment ranks. I guess if the type of play.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
But do we think like the Series 1 debuts or any Top Shot debut, do we give less shits about?
I still like those, and I think there's always going to be room to speculate. I know all of us, I think, fired very prematurely on the burning challenge speculation, which hurts. But I mean, they announced that burning's coming soon, so maybe the goal is to crack that code and then buy those moments. Because I mean, if burning's happening, not only do those moments that are needed for burning become valuable, but moments associated with them become more valuable because there's less available. So, I mean, them continuing to shrink supply is a good thing. And if they're doing that, then if you buy, I think here's the new meta. The meta before was like, oh, like if you're trying to up your TSS, like here's what you do, blah, blah, blah. But if you buy a moment that you think is going to pump before it pumps, so let's say you buy it for $5, you get 50 TSS. Well, if the average value or the average purchase price of that moment goes above what you paid, then you're getting TSS for free. So I think trying to be ahead of the curve allows you to play that game in that sense. So it's a new game, new rules.
Yeah.
I don't know if
And
I
let's
like
hope-
it, but
Let's hope they don't change it in a year. Also, shout out JC Reviews. JC Reviews is the smartest one out of all of us because
By far.
he liquidated his account. Like,
Thank you.
a long time ago, and
Thank
or
you.
I don't think he liquidated. He consolidated. He got a lot off. I remember, but he's always been an OG team holder, and that was very kind of you, JC Reviews. We really appreciate that. Actually, in honor of that, John, I know you got a dip too. So, John, if you need to get out of here, go for it. I'm just going to give something away quickly since we have so many people here. It feels like the right thing to
I
do.
love that.
I just want to see what I got. I don't know. I don't even know what's worth anything, you know?
While you're looking at that, we can just say, if you didn't get all the answers you need, or you didn't get everything that you wanted to hear, don't worry. You can still come hang with us. We're going to be in Vegas, and we're going to have a hangout. So please join us for NBA Summer League. Tickets went on sale today. So if you are attending, it would be great to hang with everyone. I know we've got a lot of people watching, so we'll be there that Friday and Saturday. And I think Mike's going to stay and probably take some money from people at the poker tables. But we'll be there Friday and Saturday to watch some games and do a hangout like we did. Was it last year? Last year. Met Jeb in person. That was amazing.
That's right.
Met a lot of people. It was a good time. So we're going to do it again. And we'd love for people to come out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit up Doris again and see what she's got planned.
There you go. So I have okay. I just thought
James K, real quick. Not yet, but we typically go for the very first. We try to at least go for whatever the first game is that's tipping off that day for Friday. And I believe games actually start on Thursday, but we won't be there for that. We'll be there for Friday, so we'll probably kick things off for the whatever the start of the games are, and you can be sure as shit that I'll be there for any Lakers game. So
absolutely, and yes, you do get 10 times the air miles to fly out. All right, let's do this. So in order to qualify for the giveaway, you got to do 3 things. You need to like this stream, you need to subscribe to Team Hold, and then you need to fire hashtag TSS into the chat. So
Steve,
TSS
we will.
We'll
do a vlog again. Absolutely. Get more Jeb in it this time if Jeb's there.
So go ahead, throw hashtag TSS in the chat, like the stream, subscribe. And we're going to do a Donovan Mitchell playoff moment, I think, is what we're going to do right now.
There we go. Where's he going? Is he sticking around and they're just shipping out Rudy?
They should blow that whole team up.
Yeah, just send it.
Right?
Send it.
Yeah. That team is awful. They're never going to win anything.
No, they're done. As currently constructed, they are done.
Same with the Suns. Blow that team up. I think they're done too, honestly.
I think they have to try and do something. Sign and trade with Ayton or something like that.
The Ayton stuff is wild. The Ayton stuff is really I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Luka is destroying dynasties one at a time. So I wonder what Golden State's going to do in the offseason after he decimates them.
Right.
Steph and the Shanghai Sharks coming at you. But yeah, we a lot of fun stuff coming up for anybody that's new. We do this. We got a Monday we've got a morning marketplace Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night on actually Jeb Bush's channel, we got Shot Tank coming back at you. And then on Friday we have the morning marketplace, but we also have a happy hour show, which we usually just talk about a lot of chaos. So it'll be a good time. I'm gonna spin this right now. Hold on, I'm getting tagged in the Discord, which I always love while we're streaming live.
Give us those updates.
It was unnecessary. It was absolutely unnecessary. It was Poker Pro Eric, common Poker Pro Eric bullshit. We are up to so last call. Hashtag TSS into the chat. You need to like the stream and subscribe. Thanks for hanging around. I hope. Listen, I don't do anything too wild yet. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like let the information sink in, like a good stew. Let it marinate.
Safest thing you can do.
Safest
thing you can do is probably not financial advice. Is buy trade tickets, maybe $2 moms. They can't really go much lower than that. And buy what you love.
My beer.
Buy what you love.
Yeah, buy what you love or what you like. We also established.
Yes, yeah. What you're cool with. How about that?
We're gonna rip this right now. This is Donovan Mitchell. If you win this, just shoot me a DM either at Mike Zakarian on Twitter or in the Discord. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I moved the screen so you couldn't see it. There we go. And the winner is going to Big G Weston. Big G Weston, go ahead. Wow, look, he said comment moments are tanking right now. There you go. Commons.
Jeb sees.
Gosh, my account is going to. It's basically lit on fire. That means so that's it.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. People want a Luka Magic drop. Listen, we'll give you a Luka Magic drop. Jeb, Dustin, thanks for coming and hanging out. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning. I don't know. Go have a drink.
Stay safe.
We out.
Luka, Luka,